Hello and welcome to EFD, where today we're turning the spotlight on 10 teams who could have campaigns to remember next season. Make sure you catch these sides in 2017-18. 10. Chelsea. After a title-winning debut season, Antonio Conte looked set for an era of success at Chelsea. But his attempts to rebuild the squad this summer have proved more difficult than you'd expect at a club with unlimited finances and zero conscience. A rumoured move for Alexandro is yet to come to fruition, while Conte's dodgy decision to give Costa the boot was made worse when Man United took Lukaku from under their noses. Chelsea now face the prospect of a season with Michy Batshuayi as their first choice striker, if they can't secure 28-year-old Aubameyang or their long-awaited and completely inexplicable swoop for Fernando Llorente. The midfield is also set to be reshaped, with Matic out and Bakayoko in, while Gary Cahill, Pedro and David Luiz all tick past 30. Plus, they'll have their first new captain in 13 years after the departure of John Terry, and Conte will wrestle with the Champions League, a competition in which he's never got past the quarter-finals. 9. Zenit St. Petersburg. According to Patrick Van Straten, Russian football is pretty dull unless you enjoy casual racism. But Zenit St. Petersburg are quietly having a fantastic summer. The club was taken over by Roberto Mancini in June, and having finished 8 points off champion Spartak last year, are keen to make a splash in the market. They've already picked up Roma's talented 22-year-old midfielder Leandro Paredes, who has attracted interest from Arsenal and Bayern, and they could yet sign his Győrösi teammate Kostas Manolas, though the Greek reportedly failed to turn up for a medical. Perhaps most excitingly though, Mancini has added Argentinian forward Sebastian Driussi. Last year, at just 21, the striker bagged 17 goals and 3 assists in 2,100 minutes for River Plate, and cost the Lions only €15 million. With a solid South American contingent, Zenit could be a serious proposition in the Europa League. 8. Monaco. With Bakayoko, Bernardo Silva, Lemar, Mendy, Fabinho and Mbappe all gone, leaving or considering leaving, Monaco face another year of rebuilding. But if there's one man who has shown his brilliance at moulding young stars, it's Leonardo Jardim. The Monegasques have already added Yuri Tielemans to their squad, while promising talents Bashila, Jorge and Almami Toure, still just 21 years old, are ready to step up if given a shot. Monaco know they can't compete with PSG for the top stars, but they've quietly turned into the Dortmund of Ligue 1, swooping for top prospects while they're cheap, and now they have Champions League football to offer. If you want to see tomorrow's world beaters today, then there's no better place right now, as Gil Diaz, Alan Saint-Maximin and of course Kylian Mbappe aim to win a second title on the trot, something the club has never done before. 7. Hoffenheim. If you want to see the difference between English coaching and German coaching, compare Eddie Howe with Julian Nagelsmann. Both well regarded in their home countries, Howe has taken Bournemouth to 9th in the Prem, while Nagelsmann took over a club which was 17th out of 18 Bundesliga sides, saved them from relegation and finished 4th the following season. From the brink of the Zwei Bundesliga, Hoffenheim are now a Champions League side, though they have lost midfield utility man Sebastian Rudy and star defender Niklas Süle to Bayern Munich. But Kerem Demirbay, signed for just £1.5 million last year, is now a genuine star, while youngsters like Philip Ox and Nadia Mamiri will only improve with experience. Of course, their 29-year-old manager may well develop too, and he's shown an eye for talent, having moulded Roberto Firmino while Hoffenheim assistant coach. With his clever pressing and willingness to switch formation at a moment's notice, it will be fascinating to see how Nagelsmann faces the challenge of European football. 6. Man City. So it might be obvious that a club with a world-class manager and infinite finances will be worth watching, but Man City are taking a refreshing kamikaze approach to the transfer window, which could entertain both fans and neutrals in the forthcoming campaign. Last year, everyone agreed that City needed 3 or 4 fullbacks, a couple of central midfielders and a centre-back or 2. So it was a fun surprise when the Sky Blues made Bernardo Silva their first summer acquisition and then made plays for Kingsley Coman, Kylian Mbappe and Alexis Sanchez. Fortunately, they did add Benfica keeper Ederson for a world record £35 million, from a side which conceded just 18 goals in 34 games last season, and are now betting £100 million on Kyle Walker and Benjamin Mendy in defence. If Guardiola doesn't add significant rearguard reinforcements, we could see the Catalan commit to a 6 up-front formation not seen since Sociedad's Tottenham side of the 1980s. Given that the Argentinian ended up with a win rate of under 30% at White Hart Lane, Pep might want to locate his chequebook pretty quickly. 5. Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund decided to start from scratch in 2017, after coach Thomas Tuchel fell out with chief scout Sven Mislintat and chairman Hans-Joachim Watzke. The German was quickly shipped out, and it's hard not to feel that Ajax's Peter Bosz is a bit of a step down in the dugout. With an average age under 25, that's younger than Tottenham, BVB are absolutely stacked with young talent. For any other side, Marco Reus's dodgy legs would be a major issue, but Dortmund boast Ousmane Dembele, perhaps the #1 prospect in world football, Christian Pulisic and Emre Mor, who has barely even made the team so far. This inexperienced roster could mesh well with Bosz, who reached the Europa League final last year with a squad averaging just 22 years of age. Add in Julian Weigl, Raf Guerreiro and the best recruitment department in world football, and Dortmund look primed for another assault on the Bundesliga title, though it could be their most challenging season in a decade. 4. Girona. Unlike the other sides we've mentioned, Girona probably won't trouble the title challengers next season, but the Spaniards could shake up La Liga regardless. In a division controlled by the moneyed Real Madrid and Barcelona, Girona, who are based just an hour away from Messi and co, are a revolutionary prospect after being bought and bankrolled by the owners of Manchester City. Joining New York City, Yokohama Marinos, Melbourne City and Guardiola's men in the City Football Group has already reaped dividends for the club, with the Sky Blues offering Girona the pick of their academy on loan. Patrick Roberts, Brahim Diaz, Alex Garcia and Marlos Moreno could all spend next year in Catalonia, and the team will also benefit from City's global scouting network, which will compete with Barca, Athletic Club and Real Sociedad for the best of northern Spain's talent. And City aren't finished there. The organisation are apparently considering adding Dutch feeder club NAC Breda to their stable, making them the 7th club owned by the Abu Dhabi billionaires. 3. Everton. Now financed by Iranian billionaire Farhad Moshiri, Everton have hit the transfer window running. Knowing they were likely to lose Romelu Lukaku, the Toffees set about spending big to round out an ageing squad, adding Davy Klaassen, Sandro, Wayne Rooney, Jordan Pickford and Michael Keane for around £85 million. Some good signings and some gambles, but it's hard to see any of them turning Everton into Champions League contenders, and Ronald Koeman has committed huge wages to his new recruits. 21-year-old Sandro is picking up £120,000 a week, about the same as Mesut Ozil, while Klaassen is on £100,000. That's 1.5 times the amount that Gianluigi Buffon earns at Juventus. And Lukaku's departure means the loss of 25 goals and 6 assists, or exactly half of Everton's 62 Premier League tally in 2016-17. Time will tell if Koeman is a genius or Tony Pulis with a platinum card. 2. Leipzig. Controversially allowed into the Champions League despite the presence of sister club Red Bull Salzburg, RB Leipzig have made a habit of pissing off the haters. Fresh from taking Hoffenheim's title as the most hated club in the Bundesliga, the energy drink outfit raced to a second-place finish in Germany, winning 20 of their 34 games and topping Thomas Tuchel's Dortmund by 3 points. The Red Bulls have an average age of just 22 and have shown their financial muscle by turning down a €65 million Liverpool approach for Naby Keita and beating Tottenham to PSG's Jean-Kevin Augustin. Hasenhutl's unconventional 4-2-2-2 formation will shock plenty of teams in Europe next year, while the speed of an attack built around Timo Werner, who scored 21 goals in the Bundesliga last term, and Emil Forsberg, who bagged 18 assists, could make for a Monaco-style run. 1. Milan. With an outlay of more than £100 million just a fortnight into the transfer window, Milan are betting big on a return to the top. Since their last title win in 2011, the Rossoneri have managed an average total of just 64 points each season, while the league leaders have averaged over 90. That gives Vincenzo Montella a huge distance to make up, but fortunately the club has been taken over by a Chinese consortium at just the right time. Serie A will receive 4 spots in the Champions League from 2018, meaning Milan don't need to pass Juve, Napoli or Roma to return to the competition they've won 7 times. However, they are buying smartly once again, with Frank Cassier, Ricardo Rodriguez and Hakan Çalhanoğlu among a raft of signings. Milan's new boys have an average age of 23, and the only two to cost more than 30 million are Portuguese forward Andre Silva and incredibly Leonardo Bonucci, one of the world's best defenders whose signing has significantly weakened Juventus. Barring some typical Italian insanity or a match-fixing scandal, it might not be long until the Scudetto finds a home in Milan once again. So that was our 10 clubs to watch next season, but what did you think? Is there anyone we missed out and should have included? Let us know in the comments below. Now if you enjoyed this, why not check out this week's Stat Wars? And as always guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.